Welcome, dear students, to the lecture number 7 of the chapter Classification of Elements and Periodicity in Properties. And this lecture is about the difference between metals, non-metals, and metalloids. My dear students, metals make 78% of the periodic table. Out of 118 elements, there are 90 elements in the periodic table which are metals. Metals are basically the electropositive elements in the periodic table that have high tendency to lose electron and form positive ions. So that's why there is majority of the metals in the periodic table. Cations are more abundant as compared to the anions naturally. Metals, almost all metals are solids except mercury. You know, mercury is a liquid metal which is seen in the thermometers, and they have high melting and boiling point, which means metals are heat resistant and having high melting and boiling point. Except there are two exceptions here. One is the gallium, other is the cesium. The melting point of gallium is 29.7 degrees centigrade and that of cesium is 28.4 degrees Celsius. And the human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, as the body temperature is greater than melting point of both gallium and cesium. So that's why if you will place gallium or cesium on your palm, they will melt, as your body temperature is greater than melting point of both these metals. Now, why they are solids and have high melting and boiling points? Because metals have metallic bond in them, and metallic bond is basically a very strong bond. It is an electrostatic force of attraction between the free electrons and metal cations. As it is an electrostatic force of attraction, so it is a very strong bond, and because it is a strong bond, so that's why most of the metals they are solid with high melting and boiling points. The second feature is that they are excellent conductor of heat and electricity. All the electricity system which is used in your houses, that is based on the metals, especially the electricity system is made up of the wires which are made up of copper and silver. So they are excellent conductor of both heat and electricity, and this conductivity is due to presence of the free electrons. So electrical as well as thermal conductivity is due to presence of the free electrons in the metal structure. They have shiny surface. Now there is a metallic luster. Whenever a metal is freshly cut, its surface is very shiny, just because of the reason that when light falls on the surface of the metal, these free electrons they get excited. They move from low energy level to the high energy level by absorbing the light energy. But after spending a very short duration of time in their excited state, they move back towards their normal energy state, releasing the light energy that makes the surface of the metal shiny. It looks like the light is being reflected from the surface of the metal, but it is not actually the reflection which makes the surface bright, rather the excitation and de-excitation makes the surface of the metal bright. Metals are malleable and ductile. Malleable mean they can be converted into sheets, and ductile mean they can be converted into wires. Why? Because they have layered structure, and when pressure is applied on the surface of the metal, the layers of the atoms they slide pass over each other, reducing the thickness of the metal. The most malleable metal in the periodic table is gold, so that's why there are different designs in the jewelry that you commonly see. And the most malleability that is attributed to the gold. Now, what is the location of metals in the periodic table? On the left of the periodic table, there are two groups. One is the alkali metals, other are the alkaline earth metals, and both of these they are basically metals. In the middle portion of the periodic table, there are transition elements which are pure metals, and at the bottom of the periodic table there are 28 elements in the form of lanthanide and actinide series, and all of them they are pure metals. So they are present at left, middle, and bottom of the periodic table. And when combined with oxygen, metals form basic oxides, mean when their oxides are dissolved in water, you will get bases. This was about the metals. Now let us move towards the non-metals. Out of 118 elements, there are 20 non-metals in the periodic table. Non-metals, they exist either in the form of solid or gases, and there is only one non-metal that exists in the liquid state, and that is bromine. They have low melting and boiling point. They are usually not as as much heat resistant as the metals are, and their low melting and boiling point are because of the weak van der Waals forces present in them. But again, there are exceptions of the boron and carbon. Boron and carbon, due to their giant structure, they have very high melting and boiling points. Just like the melting point of the boron is almost 2025 degrees Celsius, and its boiling point is 4000 degrees Celsius. And the carbon in the form of graphite has melting point 3500 degrees Celsius. So both of them, they are exceptions, having very high melting and boiling point among the non-metals. Now they are non-conductor both thermally and electrically. They do not conduct electricity or heat because of the absence of the free electrons in them. They do not have shiny surface due to lack of the excitation and de-excitation of the electrons. They do not have that lustrous surface. They are brittle, means when the pressure is applied on them, they are broken down into very small pieces. So their structure is brittle. And non-metals, like metals, if they form basic oxides, the non-metals, they form acidic oxides with oxygen, mean when oxides of the non-metals, they are dissolved in water, you will get acids. Just like when carbon dioxide is dissolved in water, you get the carbonic acid found in the cold drinks. Now, what is the location of non-metals in the periodic table? Non-metals are just present at the right side of the periodic table, because left, middle and bottom portion, that is occupied by the metals. Now, dear students, let us move towards the metalloids. Out of 118 elements, there are 7 metalloids in the periodic table. They are also called as the semi-metals, and they have characteristic features of both metals and non-metals. Sometimes physically they are very shiny. They look as if that is a metal, but when you will say it chemically, that will be a non-metal. So physically sometimes they are metals, but chemically they are non-metals. And my dear students, their characteristic features are in between the metals and non-metals, like their melting and boiling points, they are less than metals but greater than non-metals. Now, these are the 7 metalloids found in the periodic table: boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, and polonium. And if you will see the periodic table, you will see that there will be some steps or some zigzag structure in the periodic table, and they are present below that zigzag structure. Now let us talk about the metallic character. What is metallic character? The ability to lose electron, that is called as the metallic character. And my dear students, when you move down the group, as the atomic size increases, so the loss of electron, that becomes easier due to lesser force of attraction of the nucleus on the valence electron, and the metallic character down the group, that will increase. So among alkali metals, the weakest metal will be lithium, and the strongest metal, that will be francium. And along a period, when you move along a period, the atomic size decreases, due to which the nuclear attraction on the valence electron, that keeps on becoming stronger and stronger, due to which the ability to lose electron decreases and the metallic character also decreases. So you will see the strongest metals on the extreme left of the periodic table and the strongest non-metals on the extreme right of the periodic table. The strongest metal is cesium, and the strongest non-metal of the periodic table, that is fluorine. And if the non-metals form acidic oxides, metals form basic oxides, then the oxides of the metalloids will be amphoteric in nature, means they will react with both acids as well as bases, but they will not be dissolved in water. So they form amphoteric oxides that react with both acids and bases, and they do not get dissolved in water. So that was our discussion about the difference between the metals, non-metals and metalloids. What is the trend of the metallic character in the periodic table, and what is the location of the metals, non-metals and metalloids in the periodic table. Next time we will come up with some new lecture. Till then, take care.